Now I want to see a full squat at the end of your stroke. Straight down, hard as you can. Come on, little bug.
Whoops. Hold on.
That's okay.
Okay. Shit.
Yeah, get your splitting round nice and stable. There you go. There you go. Okay. Come on. Yeah. Smile. Greetings, YouTube. How's it going, peeps? It's been a little while. Been really busy. A little too busy to make videos. Let's see, what was going on? Going back to the last one, we were doing the blower tear down and rebuild, and that just didn't work out as planned. I guess we had to go away back in the middle of October. We had to get out for a vacation. We were housed. We were so worn out. It was like we had to get away for a couple weeks, so we went down to California and Death Valley, and then we got back, and it was just a whirlwind of torturously busy schedule, and also hiring a couple of new guys, which was awesome because, you know, we've just always struggled for finding help, especially around these parts in Washington. You know, there's not a lot of good help to be had in this industry. But you know, we're kind of getting back on our feet. We got a couple of guys that are a little more comfortable in their jobs, which means we can kind of have a little more time for extraneous things like YouTube videos. So what's going on is I thought I would do something handy that we don't do a lot of, but that is kind of a good scope of work or type of work to do with this kind of work, and it's cleaning pervious concrete. So we took over this project a couple of years ago for the city of Lacey in Washington. They got this recreational ballpark center. It's like a big field, you know, baseball fields for that city down there. And this big complex has this big kind of concrete structure in the middle. They got some picnic tables and some kind of like open air gazebo type covers, and the whole thing is laid out with pervious concrete, which is like a type of concrete that's designed to have water pass through it. So it's kind of like a stormwater friendly type of concrete. It's like very loosely bound together, like big granular type of concrete mix. It's like porous. You can dump a bucket of water on it. It goes right through the concrete, but it acts like a filter, like a sediment filter. And you've probably seen videos of this stuff maybe on like Facebook or YouTube, where they have like a big water truck pull up on a pad of this stuff, you know, like the companies that advertise this stuff to install it. They'll dump like, you know, 2,000 gallons of water down on a big concrete pad, and you'll see it not run off the pad. It'll just kind of go into the concrete and into the groundwater underneath. But the stuff clogs up with moss, and after a couple of years it stops being permeable, and it's got to be cleaned out, and or it stops losing its permeable characteristics. So every time we go down and do this project, it takes 3 or 4 days, and it's really good because it's like prevailing wages. It's for a city, and so the guys make really good money on it. But it's got its own special challenges, like everything else in this work. It's really hard to clean. It's very slow going. Whereas, you know, normally we might, like one cleaning system and one team might get through 30,000 square feet a day, you know, give or take. This stuff, it's like 10. It's like very slow going. Even 10's kind of a big number to go for in a day, pushing around 2 surface cleaners, because you just have to go so slow, and the nozzles take so much time to kind of dig into this stuff and get the moss out. And then of course the vacuum forces under the surface cleaner deck work to extract the sediment instead of pushing it down into the surface. So we got some footage of this stuff, and also there's some other unique characteristics to cleaning pervious concrete that make it really difficult and just trash people the first time they go for it. One of the first things you have to worry about is, and you wouldn't know this unless you've done it a couple times, is you can totally lose your butt trying to clean this stuff by not understanding how much time it takes to clean it, and then also it completely destroys your surface cleaner arms, and we'll show you about that, what happens with that stuff. So I mean, you'll literally destroy a set of surface cleaner arms in one day. What looks like, you know, normally would take 3 or 6 months to wear down some arms, this stuff will do it in literally 7 hours. It's crazy. It's just so abrasive and so hard on those arms. You literally got to come prepared for like to replace your arms every single day. It's crazy. And then also another thing is the amount of mud you wind up picking up. It is bananas. It's probably the most mud intensive type of surface cleaning you can do. So basically I'm putting up this video to give you some heads up about this stuff, and also to warn you, if you're not careful about bidding these projects, man, you can get, you know, the first time, you know, if you don't learn these lessons, it's like you will completely underbid it and be in a giant hole, and that's not good. You don't want to do that, because you know, not only are you going to lose money, you're going to wind up, you have the money realities to deal with. You're going to wind up doing substandard work, taking too long, pissing off your customers. So it's good to have a little bit of this information under your belt, so that when you go out and bid this stuff, you can pull it off successfully and not walk away from it going, God, all I did was lose a bunch of money on this job, and I don't ever want to do this again, you know. Or if you do it again, plan better. Okay. So let's get into the cuts that we got of it, and get this video going. And then again, you know, it's constantly apologizing to you guys for not getting these videos out, but hopefully we won't have that problem. Oh, and I got some other good news. It looks like we have landed the biggest project we've ever done. It's where we've ever have done. It's this particular project. I'll say more about it if I think it's actually going to go. We haven't signed on the dotted line yet, but it's looking like it's pretty much a go. So based on what the next level contractor's guidance to me is when they asked us to put up a bid for this. But the biggest thing we'd ever done up to this point is exactly 1 million square feet, and this was for one of the nation's oldest general contractors. They've been around since like the 1800s, building stuff for people, and very old and prestigious firm, national. They're all over the country, and they built a kind of like a prefab parking garage for an Indian reservation for some tribes down in southern Washington. And we went down there for a month. We like literally relocated our entire office and all of our people, all the computers, everything, down to some hotels, because it's about 2 hours away, and it just would have been impractical to deploy down there every day. So what we did is we just moved the entire company down to 5 or 6 hotel rooms for about a month, and this thing was about 1 million square feet, and basically it was just being built, and our job was to go in and basically get, like all new construction, get the dust up so that when they go and they do the first coat of striping, painting for the painting stalls and the you know, the drive lane markers and all that stuff, the paint sticks, and it'll hold for a lot longer than if they just go and put the paint down on like kind of a sandy, sediment laden surface. It just sort of undermines the coating's adhesion. But if we go in there and we like strip off the floors, they put the paint down, it lasts a lot longer. So the client, the end user, will be able to get by a much longer period of time until they have to do their first repaint 5 years from now, or whatever they're going to do in 3 years. Instead of, you know, having a street sweeper come in 6 months later for its first cleaning, and then just like leaf blowers wind up taking the paint up because it's just so loosely stuck to the ground. So, and that was about 1 million square feet. This one we're bidding now is 1.67 million square feet. And the crazy thing is it's about a mile from my apartment where we live. So it's like right in my backyard. I had no idea this garage even existed. It's literally under a park for a large technology firm. Everybody knows. I won't say who it is, but in the Redmond area. Take a wild guess. Redmond, Washington. So, you know, these structures, they're all coming up on about 10 years old or something like that, and they're ready for their first repaint. And the people hiring us to do it are basically a large painting contractor that has like the maintenance contract for all these buildings all over the state for this technology firm. So they need some help getting this place ready for its first repaint, for its first parking restriping. And this project is going to take 2 months, and so a lot of my time has been lately, which is why I've been able to put out these videos, is getting this project lined up, because it's a solid 2 months of work for our guys. And the way this stuff goes, it's likely not to be the only one, because once you go in and do one of these, there's going to be more right behind it. There are literally hundreds of these all over the place. I don't know, maybe 100, maybe not hundreds, but there's a lot of them. So just this one new relationship could wind up being this you know, huge boon for us and for our workers. So it's a very complicated and complex plan, Team America. And we're going to wind up going after this thing and pretty much taking all of January and February to complete this project, but only working at about 4 days a week, so we have room to do some other stuff. And it's also at night, so we'll be able to have some daytime capacity, rotate guys in and out, and this will be an awesome project. I'm real excited about that, but it's a huge project. It's bigger than anything we've ever done by 50%. So over 1.5 million square feet. So this will be a really bananas situation. We're going to have to buy a whole bunch more insurance to meet their requirements, and we're going to have to wind up buying some more hot water skids just so we have some spare stuff sitting on the floor in case things go wrong, because there's not going to be any room for not getting this project done on time. It's got an 8-week deadline, and which means we got to hit about 30,000 foot a day per system, so 60,000 foot total without fail. And we have 3 days a week to make up for any shortcomings or slowdowns in the schedule. And also we got to work around the snow and ice, because they want to do this going right into the winter and coldest months. So we had to put a caveat in there that we need to, if we get some weather, some super cold temps or a lot of snow, we have to break off of this project and go out and take care of our snow clients and do some plowing and dig everybody out. So this will be fun. We've got some buffer room built in, some caveats to make room for the snow work if that happens. And starting to get cold. Looks like we're going to start our first de-icing runs later this week. We got some low temps coming in around 29 degrees. So, okay, let's get into this Pervious concrete video and show you guys what to look out for when you're cleaning Pervious concrete, because this is one of those special niche things where you can do really good and make a lot of money, and there's not really anybody doing this stuff. So, get stoked. All right, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're cleaning Pervious concrete down in the city of Lacey. It's actually the prevailing wage job. They got this big recreational center, baseball fields. And down here is what we call Pervious concrete. This is the kind of concrete where you can dump a bunch of water on it, and the water just goes down through the concrete. So it's designed to be like a stormwater friendly surface. The water won't run off the pad and run to storm drains. It'll just hit this concrete and go into the ground. So, you'll see a lot of the newer fire stations, like where the fire trucks hang out, like where they're being built. The guys like to wash their trucks and keep them really clean. A lot of fire stations, you'll see this stuff. They'll put it out in the parking lot so the guys can pull their truck out and wash their trucks. But it was kind of a gimmicky sort of thing. Pervious concrete, once it clogs up with moss, it basically becomes like regular concrete, and it's just, it was kind of like this gimmicky thing that was advertised. It was kind of like people were putting videos on Facebook about how awesome Pervious concrete was, and then, a couple years later when the shit clogs up, everybody wishes they hadn't had this stuff installed. So it's like one of these special niche applications. But we got both guys going, or two of our guys going. There's let's see, Kyle right back there, and then that's David behind me, one of our new guys, learning how to surface clean. But let me get another clip, and we'll zoom in on this stuff here, and I'll show you some of the problems that we have cleaning Pervious. This shit's brutal. It's really hard on the equipment, and you wind up picking up an insane amount of mud. Just from 1 or 2 days of surface cleaning, that vacuum trailer right behind me is going to be literally half full of mud. It's crazy. So, but this stuff, once it plugs up with moss growing on it, it stops draining and stops being pervious. And it's just really hard to clean. So anyways, let me get another clip here. Okay, so here's some regular concrete right here. And this is the pervious stuff. It's almost like it's like a bunch of little tiny, like 3/16 or maybe 3/8, not 3/8, but yeah, maybe 3/8 gravel. That's sort of just like barely bonded with like a little bit of concrete.
whereas that's like, you know, a much finer sediment. It's all bound together. This stuff is designed to let water pass through it. Now, here's a set of surface cleaner arms off of one of our vacuum surface cleaners. So these are the arms under your deck that spin around. This is after 1 day of cleaning this shit. Look at that. There's the nozzle. Almost completely worn through after 1 day. So let's go look at a set of new arms here in a second. Look at that. So what happens, you wear through that metal, and then the nozzle will spring a leak, usually somewhere in this area. You'll wear through the metal or wear through the nozzle, and then water will start spraying out of the side instead of coming out of the nozzle tip where it's supposed to, and you'll lose a bunch of pressure. But that is literally 1 day of surface cleaning. And these things take 3 months to get from the manufacturer, so like everything else, we gotta fucking make it ourselves. Hey David, say hi to YouTube.
Hey,
This is our new guy, David. David?
I'm David.
Yeah. David's he's a freshly minted Reclamation pressure washer.
Yeah.
We're gonna torture the shit out of this kid for the next couple of years. Or maybe he'll decide he doesn't want to do it. We got like, the way we do it in our company is we do like a 3 month, not really so much like a probationary run, but just like, you know, come work with us for 3 months and see if you like it. Because honestly, a lot of guys don't like this work or just aren't cut out for it. So,
Yeah, no,
anyways.
definitely going to show you if you like it or not. So,
Yeah. Anyways.
yeah.
YouTube, meet David. David, YouTube.
Hey.
All right. Okay. See ya. Let's go say hi to Kyle real quick. Hey, Kyle. We're showing YouTube what 1 day of surface cleaning does to us, a brand new set of arms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fucking crazy. So we just swapped out his arms because we did kind of like a half day here yesterday, and then we did a half day today, and that's where we're at with these things. Just completely mangled.
Brutalized.
Yeah. So this stuff, you can see it gets all mossy, and then it plugs up and stops being permeable, and then the client's like, hey, come clean our concrete, and we're like, yeah, we'll come clean it. But here's clean concrete versus non-clean. Kyle's a stud. Kyle, say hi to YouTube.
Hey YouTube, what's
YouTube, say hi to Kyle.
up? Out here getting it.
Give this boy a thumbs up. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So a little bit later now, we're going to be pumping the trailer down with the big truck, and what I'm going to do is pop the hatch open. You guys can see this will be exactly one full. When we go to empty this trailer out, it'll be a half day yesterday, and we're into a half day so far today, and you'll see how much mud we get from just 1 day of surface cleaning. Crazy. Or about 6-7 hours of surface cleaning. So let's go over yonder, and I'll show you what these arms are supposed to look like when they're brand new. One of these arms is from the manufacturer. Each one of these is about $45. So one set of arms is about $90. Very expensive. And they take 3 months to get. So I just started making them ourselves. More on that later. All right, guys.
We're going to pump the trailer down. We're sort of gassing up right now. And this thing's probably like, you know, right about like here. And there's a lot of mud in here, a lot of mud. And some of it's gonna come out of this valve, but what's gonna happen after I get this thing emptied out a little bit, when I get it to about the halfway mark, I'm gonna pop the front hatch and we'll look inside. You can see how much mud we wind up picking up. There we go. So, now the truck is hogging mud out of this thing. And since what's in here is so kind of thick and it's like slurry, it helps to just let a little bit of air in the line just to kind of break it up. So it moves through the hose a little easier. Yeah. I'm gonna look inside this thing. I'm gonna look at all the poop in this tank. But we don't want to open that hatch until we get it just under halfway so we don't have a bunch of bleh spill all over the engine. You wanna hold this, Kyle? Film me, baby! What Santa brought us for Christmas, yeah? Delish.
Yeah, it was right there.
Deliciousness. Yeah, that's what we got. You can see we're right below that sight window now. So, it's all the water's done getting pulled off of this. We'll see how much mud's sitting on the bottom of it. A lot of it's going to go out of that valve we're sucking out, but a lot of it's just going to sit in there. So, like I say, picking up wastewater. Wastewater is an idea. Mostly what you're doing is sucking fucking peanut butter. And it's messy. So, and it's really hard on your equipment. Okay, yeah, half full. This is crazy. Look at this. This thing is solidly half full of mud. Alright guys, we're actually going to wash this thing out, so there's so much mud in here. Well, I'm going to get the wash gun set up, and what we're going to do now is, since there's so much sediment, we're just going to go ahead and reset this tank, and we're going to get all the mud out of it, so that the remainder of the day, when we wind up finishing up for today, all this mud will be in that truck, and this trailer can go back with a lot less weight in it. This shit's really heavy too, so we're gonna get after it. All right, guys. If I think up anything else pertinent to this, I'll get another clip, but this might be it for the day. All right, have fun.